You've been told to work harder, want more, prove yourself, and yet you still feel something's missing, don't you? That's because you've been playing the wrong game. The real power isn't out there. It's in the unseen energy controlling every outcome in your life. Once you learn to command it, reality stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Before we dive in, take a second to hit that like button and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. You might be surprised to find someone listening from the same place as you. Introduction: the field that remembers you. Listen closely. There is a current moving through you right now, ancient, intelligent, unbroken since the beginning of time. It hums beneath your breath, behind every thought, and inside every coincidence you have ever called chance. That current is energy, the same pulse that spins galaxies and keeps your heart beating in perfect rhythm. You are not apart from it. You are its living expression. Every cell in your body vibrates. Every emotion sends a signal into the field around you. Science calls it the unified field. Mystics call it the breath of creation. You live inside this invisible ocean, shaping it with every thought, word, and intention. You have felt it before: the instant connection with a stranger, the thought that arrives before a message, the peace that comes when you choose trust. These are not accidents. They are reminders that reality is responsive. Energy listens, energy remembers, and it obeys the vibration you hold. Nothing in your life has been random. Every delay, every heartbreak, every victory was choreography guided by frequency. The universe has never punished you. It has mirrored you. Your vibration is the script of your life: high frequencies, right flow and expansion; low ones, right resistance and confusion. But the script can be rewritten the moment you decide to see clearly, not as what happened to you, but as what is happening through you. Your inner state is the most powerful creative force you possess. Joy expands your field. Fear contracts it. The universe does not judge, it reflects. Like resonance between strings, your emotions ripple through the quantum fabric, and reality rearranges itself to match your tone. You are both instrument and musician, both wave and observer. Quantum physics now agrees the observer influences the observed. Your attention changes matter. Every thought is electrical. Every emotion magnetic. Together they sculpt your personal field, the invisible architecture of your destiny. The ancients knew this. They called it prana chimana, the sacred current of life itself. You carry it in your DNA. You are not a seeker. You are the source remembering itself. So take a breath. Feel the field listening. The current has found you again. It never left. Now let us begin. Chapter 1. The Hidden Force of Energy. Before the first sound vibrated through the void, before a single atom learned how to spin, there was energy, infinite, radiant, unbound. It moved as pure intelligence, aware of itself, eager to express. From that vibration, everything you can touch, see, or dream of emerged. You are not separate from it. You are its continuation consciousness, condensed into human form. When you open your eyes each morning, it is energy that becomes light. When you speak, it is energy turning into sound. When you love, energy expands beyond measure. Everything you know as life is the movement of this unseen current through countless forms. To awaken to that realization is to see the pattern behind every story you have lived. Nothing was random. Everything was resonance. Think of your life as an electromagnetic field. Your body is the visible outline, but what animates it is invisible, a flow of frequency, constantly in dialogue with the world around you. The emotions you hold emit vibrations measurable by science. The thoughts you repeat create electromagnetic signatures that travel beyond your body. You are both transmitter and receiver in a universe built entirely on energy exchange. For centuries, mystics described this field with poetry, and now physicists describe it with mathematics. The words differ, but the truth is the same. All matter is vibration slowed enough to be seen. You, your memories, your dreams, all patterns of energy interacting within a larger ocean of energy. The quantum field does not lie still. It listens. It records your every signal and mirrors it back through the events you call reality. This is why certain experiences seem to find you repeatedly the same type of relationship, the same obstacle, the same luck or lack. Energy does not moralize. It organizes. It arranges reality to match your broadcast. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you, responding to the frequency you carry. Imagine a magnet surrounded by iron filings. The filings do not resist or choose. They simply align with the invisible force emanating from the magnet's center. You are that center. The universe is the field of filings responding to the pulse you radiate. When your energy is fragmented by fear, self-doubt, or resentment, your reality becomes chaotic, scattered, resistant. But when your energy becomes coherent, unified by peace, purpose, and clarity, the outer world reorganizes itself with astonishing precision. The ancients encoded this knowledge in symbols, spirals, for expansion, circles, for wholeness, light, for consciousness. They knew that energy moves in patterns, never straight lines, but waves, cycles, and rhythms. Modern science now echoes their wisdom. The heart produces an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than that of the brain. Your heartbeat literally broadcasts information into space. When you feel compassion or gratitude, the field expands. When you feel anger or fear, it contracts. Your vibration is a living dialogue with creation. This is the hidden force, the one you were never taught to see. You learned to measure life through effort, strategy, and control, but not through frequency. You were taught to chase outcomes rather than align energy. Yet all true creation begins in the unseen, not the seen. A single coherent vibration holds more power than 1,000 scattered actions. When you understand this, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is my energy saying?" That question marks the beginning of mastery. You realize the universe has never been arbitrary. It is exact, mathematical, mercifully consistent. Change your signal, and your world must rearrange. The shift begins in awareness. Close your eyes and sense the field around you. Notice the subtle hum beneath your breath. That is the pulse of the cosmos within your own body, the bridge between spirit and matter. Each breath is a code, each heartbeat, a declaration that you are both wave and particle, both observer and creator. When your awareness joins this current, you awaken an ancient intelligence that knows how to heal, attract, and evolve without strain. You stop trying to force outcomes because you begin to feel how effortlessly energy moves when it is allowed. Rivers do not push their way to the sea. They are pulled by gravity, guided by flow. Likewise, your energy knows its destination toward growth, expansion, and remembrance. But resistance is learned. Every fear, every unhealed emotion, every belief in limitation acts like a stone in the river, redirecting the flow and creating turbulence. The field mirrors turbulence as struggle. When you release resistance, you return to coherence, and coherence is power. Energy mastery does not mean constant positivity. It means constant awareness. It means noticing when your frequency drops and choosing not to identify with it. It means breathing light into darkness, not to erase it, but to integrate it. Even shadow is energy waiting for recognition. You are standing at the frontier of your own vibration. The next stage of your evolution begins not with effort, but with remembrance. The universe is not outside you. It is expressing itself through you. Every outcome in your life is the echo of your internal tone. You are the cause, not the consequence. So begin observing what you emanate. Feel what your presence adds to a room, what your words inject into the air, what your thoughts weave into the field. You are sculpting existence with every pulse. You are the hidden force. You are the magnet shaping destiny. And now, as awareness expands, creation begins to listen differently. Take a slow breath. Feel the current adjust. The universe is tuning itself to your new vibration. Chapter 2. Understanding vibration. Everything in existence hums a subtle symphony of movement beneath the surface of matter. The stars vibrate in silent harmony. The trees pulse with the rhythm of photosynthesis. Even the stone beneath your feet resonates with atomic dance. There is nothing static in creation. What you call reality is not solid. It is sound, slowed into shape. You too are a frequency clothed in form, an intricate chord of thoughts, emotions, memories, and light. Vibration is the most fundamental language of the universe. Before words, before thought, there was tone, the sacred resonance that called matter into being. This is why ancient mystics described creation as a sound logos word. Modern physics agrees. When examined closely enough, every particle is not a particle at all, but a wave. The cosmos itself is a choir of frequencies, and your consciousness is one of its notes. To understand vibration is to understand that you are not fixed. You are frequency in motion, rising or falling with every thought, every feeling, every breath. Your vibration determines which experiences can find you, because energy attracts its equal. Joy resonates with abundance. Fear resonates with delay. Gratitude resonates with growth. These are not metaphors. They are measurable truths. When your energy is high, your body feels light, your thoughts clear, your intuition sharp. Synchronicities multiply. People appear at the right time. Doors open without struggle. When your vibration drops, the opposite occurs: confusion, heaviness, and missed signals. It is not punishment. It is physics. You are simply tuned to a lower station, unable to hear the song of alignment until you adjust the dial. Think of yourself as a living instrument. Every emotion tightens or loosens your strings. When tension builds through worry or resentment, the sound distorts. When you release through forgiveness, rest, or joy, the tone returns to harmony. The universe is your orchestra, responding to the note you hold. The melody of your life changes the moment you tune yourself to a higher frequency. Science calls this resonance. Two systems vibrating at similar frequencies will eventually synchronize. This is why your mood can shift after spending time with someone joyful, or why negativity spreads like contagion. You are constantly in vibrational exchange with everything around you. The collective field is a choir, and you are both singer and listener. Your thoughts are not silent, though your lips may never move. Each one sends electrical signals through your neural network, producing electromagnetic waves detectable beyond your skull. Your heart, too, generates its own magnetic field, extending several feet beyond the body. When mind and heart align in coherence, their combined vibration becomes powerful enough to influence the environment itself. This is not mysticism. It is measurable bioenergetic science. Vibration is also emotional. Every feeling carries a signature. Love vibrates high and wide, expanding the field around you. Shame contracts it, folding your energy inward. These shifts can be felt instantly. Walk into a room after an argument, the air feels heavy. Enter a space filled with laughter. It feels alive. You are not imagining these sensations. You are perceiving frequency. The great secret is that vibration is both cause and effect. You do not raise your frequency by waiting for life to improve. You raise it by choosing alignment first. The outer world follows. You are the tuning fork that sets reality in motion. How then do you elevate vibration? The answer lies in awareness and intention. Start with breath, your most immediate conductor of energy. Each conscious inhale invites coherence. Each exhale releases density. Breath resets the rhythm between body and field. Next, gratitude. Appreciation is one of the most potent vibrational accelerators known. It transforms scarcity into sufficiency, resistance into flow. The moment you whisper thank you, your frequency expands. Movement also matters. Stagnant energy cannot rise. Walk, dance, stretch, create. Let the current move through you. Sound too can lift vibration. Music, chanting, or even humming recalibrates your frequency. The ancient sages were not merely poetic when they sang prayers. They were engineering resonance. But the greatest shift comes from perception. When you change how you see, your vibration follows. Seeing opportunity where you once saw failure, peace where you once saw chaos, love where you once saw loss. This is vibrational alchemy. The external remains the same, but your frequency changes, and so does your experience. You may notice the world responding faster as your vibration stabilizes. Coincidences appear. Strangers reflect your mood. The line between inner and outer begins to blur. That is because the universe has no real boundary. It is one vast continuum of energy, mirroring itself in endless forms. You are not broadcasting into the void. You are conversing with the cosmos. The practice then is not perfection, but awareness. Notice when your energy dips, the fatigue after comparison, the tension after fear, the dullness after complaint. Each time, breathe, center, and return. The more you repeat this recalibration, the easier it becomes. High vibration is not a gift. It is a habit of remembering who you are. When you live in harmony with your vibration, you become magnetic. People feel peace in your presence without knowing why. Situations unfold smoothly, not because luck favors you, but because resonance does. You no longer chase what you want. You attract it by becoming its frequency. The secret has always been simple. You do not force energy, you tune it. And when you are tuned, reality cannot resist responding. Chapter 3. The Law of Energy Exchange. Nothing in existence stands still. Energy moves like the tide, flowing, circulating, returning. Every action, every word, every thought you release sends vibration into the field, and that vibration must come back to you. This is not philosophy, it is law. Energy, like light, cannot be destroyed. It only transforms, transferring its essence from one form to another. You are constantly participating in an energetic economy, giving, receiving, investing, wasting, accumulating, or leaking energy through your attention, emotion, and focus. The question is not if you are exchanging energy, but how consciously you are doing it. Awareness transforms the unconscious exchange into mastery. Each moment you speak, you send frequencies into the air. Each time you listen, you absorb vibration through sound and presence. Every interaction between humans is an invisible transaction of energy. Have you ever left a conversation feeling drained, though no harsh words were spoken, or felt inspired after speaking to someone whose energy glows with calm and kindness? These sensations are not psychological tricks. They are evidence of energetic exchange, an economy as real as money, though infinitely more subtle. The quality of your exchanges determines the texture of your life. To live unconsciously is to spend energy recklessly complaining, arguing, comparing, doubting. Each act sends fragments of your life force scattering into the field. Over time, you feel depleted without knowing why. Yet to live consciously is to invest energy wisely through kindness, focus, gratitude, and integrity. You stop leaking energy and begin compounding it. This is the first principle of the law of exchange. What you emit multiplies before it returns. Every gesture, every intention, every emotion is amplified by the field and then reflected back through experience. When you radiate resentment, you receive mirrors of resentment. When you emanate generosity, life finds ways to overflow toward you. The universe is not moral. It is mathematical. It matches vibration with precision beyond comprehension. Consider light through glass. If the glass is tinted red, every beam passing through it carries that color. Your energy field works the same way. Whatever emotional tint you hold colors every thought, action, and result. The law of exchange simply ensures that what leaves you carries your signature, and what returns bears it amplified. Even silence participates. Thoughts are frequencies, and they travel. When you think of someone with love, that current moves through the field, reaching them in ways you may never see. When you dwell in anger, that frequency expands outward, finding resonance with more anger in the collective field. You are constantly weaving into the fabric of humanity, for better or for worse. Energy flows through intention, more than through action. Two people may perform the same act, one out of fear, the other out of love, and the energetic outcome will differ entirely. The universe responds to motive, not motion. If you give with resentment, you drain. If you give from overflow, you expand. The current recognizes purity, coherence, and alignment. This principle is mirrored in nature. Rivers never hoard their water. They give freely to the ocean, and yet they never run dry. Their giving completes the cycle that allows them to receive again through rain. Likewise, when you circulate energy through generosity, creativity, gratitude, you open the loop that ensures replenishment. Stagnation, not sharing, causes depletion. You can witness this in relationships too. A balanced exchange between two people feels like breath, effortless, in and out, mutual nourishment. But imbalance, where one gives endlessly and the other only takes, leads to collapse. The flow cannot sustain when one side resists circulation. To keep energy pure, boundaries are required, not as walls, but as riverbanks, guiding direction. Boundaries maintain clarity, preventing your current from spilling into places it was not meant to go. Money, time, attention, all are forms of energetic currency. When used with intention, they expand your field. When used from fear or guilt, they constrict it. This is why abundance follows trust, not control. When you release with faith, you signal the field that you understand the law, that return is inevitable. The second principle of the law of exchange is reciprocity through resonance. You attract not what you deserve, but what matches your frequency. To change what you receive, you must shift what you emit. Life mirrors your energetic generosity or scarcity with exquisite precision. To master this law, begin with awareness. Ask yourself throughout the day, where is my energy flowing right now? Is it nourishing something I value or feeding something I fear? When you become mindful of the direction of your energy, you start reclaiming lost power. Attention is the steering wheel of vibration. Wherever it points, energy follows. You may also sense subtle imbalances, the heaviness after gossip, the calm after meditation, the lightness after gratitude. These are your field's metrics, showing whether your energy account is growing or depleting. Listen to them. The body speaks the truth of the field long before the mind interprets it. When you align your giving and receiving with authenticity, life begins to feel effortless. Opportunities arrive without force. People show up ready to collaborate, not compete. Synchronicities replace struggle. You become a clear channel through which energy circulates freely, and in circulation, abundance is born. The third and final principle is expansion through contribution. When your energy uplifts others, it multiplies within you. A candle lighting another does not lose its flame. It shines brighter. This is the cosmic paradox. The more light you give, the more the universe gives through you. To live by the law of energy exchange is to trust flow over control. You stop chasing, grasping, hoarding. You give, you align, and you receive not from force, but from faith. In this rhythm, you discover the true wealth of existence, the unending current of energy that never ceases to circulate through the hands of those who remember how to let it move. Chapter 4. The mind as an energy generator. The mind is not just a place where thoughts occur, it is an engine of creation. Every image, every memory, every spark of imagination radiates energy into the field, sculpting possibility into form. You are generating frequencies every second, and the universe listens with absolute precision. Most people believe their thoughts are private, confined to the boundaries of the brain. But thought is not contained, it is broadcast. Each one carries an electrical impulse measurable in hertz, traveling through the field around you, like ripples on a pond. Your mental state emits signals that magnetize experiences in alignment with their tone. This is how the invisible becomes visible, how intention becomes event. Imagine your mind as a power station. Every belief you hold determines how much voltage it can produce. Limiting beliefs restrict current. Expansive ones unleash flow. A thought repeated often enough becomes a frequency strong enough to reorganize matter, not metaphorically, but literally. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated focus. Every time you visualize success, forgiveness, or peace, new neural pathways form, strengthening the vibration of that reality. The longer you hold that frequency, the more tangible it becomes. The brain becomes a sculptor shaping energy into pattern, and pattern into destiny. But most minds run on autopilot, looping through the same networks of fear, regret, and projection. Each loop reinforces a frequency that calls forth matching experiences, proving itself true again and again. This is why change feels hard. The mind clings to familiar vibrations, even when they hurt. The pattern is not punishment, it is programming. To reclaim your power, you must first interrupt the loop. Notice the repetitive thought that drains your field. Observe it without judgment. Every time you catch it, you weaken its frequency. Every time you replace it with a higher image, gratitude, instead of complaint, courage, instead of fear, you rewire your energetic architecture. The mind obeys repetition more than logic. What you rehearse, you become. The most powerful minds in history, visionaries, healers, inventors, were not different species. They simply learned to direct their mental energy with focus so pure that reality had no choice but to conform. When thought becomes sustained, attention. Fused with emotion, it transcends imagination and becomes instruction. Emotion is the fuel. Thought is the circuit. Without emotion, thought is static. Without thought, emotion is chaos. But together, they form the electromagnetic blueprint of creation. This is the essence of manifestation, not wishful thinking, but energetic command. The heart's magnetic field amplifies the brain's electrical signal by thousands of times. When the two are coherent, they emit a harmonic frequency capable of influencing the quantum field. You feel it as deep certainty, the unshakable knowing that something already exists before you can see it. The ancient mystics called this faith. Modern science calls it observer effect. Both describe the same phenomenon: consciousness collapsing potential into reality through focused awareness. When you believe fully without contradiction, the universe must respond, not because it favors you, but because resonance demands coherence. Your inner dialogue is the control panel of this generator. Every time you say, "I can't," you cut power. Every time you say, "I am capable," you restore flow. Language is vibration encoded in sound. It programs both mind and matter. Speak as if what you desire is already alive within you, and your energy begins to align with its frequency. But power without direction is noise. To generate clean energy, the mind must be still. A restless mind scatters current. A focused mind condenses it into laser precision. Meditation is not escape, it is calibration. It clears static, allowing signal to travel unhindered. The more silent you become inside, the louder your energy speaks in the field. When you learn to observe thoughts, instead of drowning in them, you begin to feel their weight, texture, and vibration. You start distinguishing between those that expand and those that contract. Expansion feels light, effortless, alive. Contraction feels dense, resistant, dull. Choose the expansive ones, and you increase voltage instantly. Your imagination is the workshop of energy. Every image you hold plants a seed in the quantum soil. The field does not respond to your past or your potential. It responds to what you repeatedly envision now. If your inner world is chaotic, your outer world will mirror that. But if you curate thoughts like an artist selecting colors, life will begin to paint your vision into form. The mind is also the bridge between energy and matter. What begins as a spark of inspiration descends through layers. Thought becomes word. Word becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes reality. The process is not random. It is vibrational sequence. Master the top layer, your thoughts, and the rest must follow. You are not the prisoner of your mind. You are its architect. Train it like a muscle. Direct it like light. Use it like fire to illuminate, not to burn. Every morning when you wake, your mind restarts as a generator waiting for instruction. The first few thoughts set the tone for your day's vibration. Begin with gratitude and intention, and you charge your field with clarity. Begin with worry, and you program distortion. You always choose the current. Remember, what you think about, you broadcast. What you feel about, you magnetize. What you focus on with emotion, you create. The mind is your greatest source of power, silent, infinite, obedient to your awareness. Learn to generate energy consciously, and you will never again wonder whether life is on your side. The field does not choose favorites. It amplifies signals. The stronger, clearer, and calmer your mind becomes, the more reality must align. You are the thinker, the generator, and the proof that energy obeys intention. Everything you will ever need is already within the voltage of your focus. Chapter 5. Emotions, energy in motion. Your emotions are not flaws to be suppressed. They are frequencies in motion translating spirit into sensation. Each feeling is energy-seeking movement, a current designed to pass through you, not live inside you. When emotion flows, it liberates. When it stagnates, it distorts. Mastery begins not by controlling emotion, but by understanding it as vibration. Every emotion carries its own signature frequency. Joy vibrates fast and expansive. Fear moves slow and dense. Gratitude spirals upward like light. Shame collapses inward like gravity. None are bad. They are simply indicators, measurements of your current alignment with truth. Just as pain tells the body where healing is needed, emotion tells the soul where energy is blocked or free. The moment you feel anger, sadness, or anxiety, your field is signaling imbalance, not to punish, but to guide you back to coherence. To ignore emotion is to silence the compass of your own energy. To face it consciously is to release resistance and restore flow. Emotion, quite literally, is energy in motion. When you cry, your body is expelling energetic density through water. When you tremble in fear or laugh uncontrollably, energy is reorganizing itself into equilibrium. This is why tears heal. Laughter cleanses movement, liberates. Suppressed emotion doesn't vanish. It buries itself in your tissues, waiting for acknowledgement. Over time, stagnant emotion becomes physical tension, illness, or fatigue matter, reflecting unexpressed energy. Science confirms what mystics have always known. Emotion changes matter. Neurochemicals released by feeling states alter cell behavior. Positive emotions increase coherence in the heart's electromagnetic field. Negative ones create chaotic rhythms measurable in real time. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. This means emotional energy literally programs mental reality. When you feel peace, your nervous system enters resonance. Your brain waves slow, your immune system strengthens, and your intuition sharpens. You are in that moment a clear signal, a transmitter of harmony. But when you dwell in anger, resentment, or guilt, your vibration contracts. The body prepares for battle, cutting off higher perception. Energy becomes locked in survival. The alchemy lies in transformation, not suppression. To transmute emotion is to meet it with presence, allowing the current to move through without resistance. The breath is your bridge. When emotion surges, the instinct is to tighten. Instead, breathe deeper. Inhale awareness into the feeling. Exhale judgment out of it. The breath conducts motion, guiding trapped energy toward release. Imagine emotion as waves on an ocean. You are not the wave, you are the sea. The wave rises and falls, but the sea remains infinite, undisturbed beneath the surface. When you identify with emotion, you ride chaos. When you witness it, you reclaim stillness. Emotional mastery is not numbness, it is fluency. It is the ability to feel fully without being consumed. When sadness arrives, you welcome it as rain cleansing the atmosphere. When anger appears, you treat it as fire, powerful, when directed, destructive, when uncontrolled. When joy visits you, allow it to expand until it fills every corner of your being. Energy flows where attention goes. When you suppress emotion, you feed it with hidden attention. When you embrace it, you dissolve it through light. This is emotional transmutation, turning dense vibration into awareness. It is the same principle by which pressure transforms coal into diamond intensity, plus presence equals transformation. Movement amplifies release. Dance, walk, stretch, cry. Let the body speak the language of energy. Emotions are stored in muscles and fascia. Moving them physically invites flow. Sound also liberates vibration. Humming, sighing, even singing shifts frequency. Ancient cultures understood this. Rituals, drumming, chanting, all designed to release collective emotion and realign the tribe's vibration. But perhaps the most profound practice is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not approval. It is energetic detachment, freeing your frequency from the gravity of another's vibration. Resentment is a cord that binds you to pain. Forgiveness cuts it, returning your energy to its rightful owner, you. You will know forgiveness has occurred when thinking of the past no longer tightens your body. The energy once locked in bitterness becomes light, available for creation again. That reclaimed energy is your power. Another high-frequency emotion is gratitude. It is the quickest elevator for your vibration. Gratitude dissolves resistance instantly because it shifts perception from absence to abundance. It tells the field, I already have. The universe, responding to coherence, says, then have more. Every emotion is communication between you and the field. Instead of judging, learn to listen. Anger says, a boundary has been crossed. Fear says, a lesson awaits. Sadness says, something within you longs for release. Joy says, you are aligned. When you decode emotion, it becomes guidance, not chaos. Remember, emotion is motion. The more freely it moves, the more alive you feel. Emotional stagnation breeds spiritual suffocation. Expression restores expansion. When you master emotion, you master movement itself, the rhythm through which the universe speaks. You stop fearing the storm and begin dancing with it. You stop drowning in waves and start surfing energy. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are your evolution, the pulse of consciousness expanding through the instrument of your body. Let every feeling teach you the language of vibration. Let every tear wash away resistance. Let every laugh amplify your field. And the next time emotion rises like a tide, don't resist. Breathe. Listen. Move. The energy is only asking to go home, through you, not against you. Chapter 6. The Body's Sacred Energy Vessel. Your body is not a cage for your spirit. It is the temple through which spirit experiences itself. It is both an antenna and an altar, translating invisible vibration into living expression. Every cell, every pulse, every breath is energy condensed into matter, intelligence taking form, so that consciousness can move, feel, create, and love through you. You are not inside your body. Your body exists inside your energy field. The boundaries you see in the mirror are an illusion, a temporary outline drawn by vibration. The moment you shift your frequency, your biology responds. Every thought you think and emotion you feel echoes through your cells, rearranging chemistry and structure. Your body is listening constantly to the language of your energy. Modern science now confirms what ancient healers have always known. The body is an electromagnetic organism. Your heart emits a measurable magnetic field that extends several feet beyond your skin. Your brain radiates waves that interact with external frequencies. Even your DNA vibrates, functioning like a fractal antenna, receiving and transmitting information from the field. You are not just animated flesh. You are biolight in motion. When your energy flows freely, your body thrives. Blood circulates with rhythm. Digestion harmonizes muscles, release tension. But when energy is blocked through fear, resentment, or chronic stress, stagnation begins. The flow is interrupted, and the body expresses what the mind suppresses. Pain is not the enemy. It is a signal, an invitation to realign vibration. Every ache, every illness, every fatigue is a message. Your body does not betray you. It mirrors you. A tight chest whispers of unspoken grief. A sore throat reflects withheld truth. Digestive issues often echo emotions you have swallowed instead of expressed. When you learn to listen, symptoms become sacred communication rather than punishment. The energy network within you is ancient and precise. Eastern traditions mapped it as meridians and chakras pathways through which life force, or chi, flows. These centers are more than metaphor. They correspond to nerve plexuses, glands, and electromagnetic nodes. When energy is balanced, you feel clarity, vitality, and calm. When it is obstructed, you feel heaviness, confusion, or disease. Each chakra resonates with a frequency band. The root grounds you in safety and stability. The sacral governs creativity and emotion. The solar plexus holds will and confidence. The heart radiates love and compassion. The throat expresses truth. The third eye perceives intuition. The crown connects you to source. Energy moves like water through these channels. When one center overflows or runs dry, the whole system feels the imbalance. Healing, then, is simply restoration of flow, remembering that the river of energy was never broken, only blocked by resistance. The foods you eat, the movement you practice, the environment you live in, all affect this energetic harmony. Fresh living foods carry high-frequency light codes from the sun. Processed, lifeless foods carry static. Movement keeps energy circulating. Stagnation breeds density. Even colors, sounds, and scents influence your vibration. Your senses are portals through which energy enters the body. Your breath is the most immediate bridge between energy and matter. Shallow breathing keeps energy confined to the surface. Deep conscious breathing floods your system with life force. Every inhale draws in cosmic current. Every exhale releases outdated frequency. When you breathe intentionally, you become a conductor, transforming air into awareness. The body's relationship with water is equally mystical. You are over 70% liquid crystal, and water stores memory. Experiments by scientists like Masaru Emoto showed that water molecules change structure according to emotion and intention. Gratitude forms geometric harmony. Anger forms distortion. The same applies within you. Speak love to your body, and the water inside you sings. Movement is prayer. Whether you walk, stretch, dance, or lift, you are redistributing frequency through muscle, blood, and breath. The ancients practiced Tai Chi, Qigong, Yoga, all designed to circulate energy consciously. When you move with presence, the body becomes an instrument of light. Rest, too, is sacred. In stillness, the nervous system recalibrates and the field reorganizes. Sleep is not escape. It is alignment. During deep rest, your energy field expands beyond the physical, repairing and integrating lessons absorbed during waking hours. Your body is your most honest teacher. It cannot lie. The mind can invent stories, but the body always tells truth through sensation. It speaks in whispers before it screams, a twinge, a flutter, a chill. To live disconnected from the body is to live deaf to half of existence. Presence in the body is presence in the now, the only place energy can move freely. Treat your body as sacred technology, because it is. The skin is your interface with the physical world, your breath, your charger, your senses, your translators. To criticize or neglect the body is to insult the very vessel carrying divine frequency. Reverence transforms biology. Gratitude rejuvenates cells faster than any serum. When you honor your body, energy honors you. When you move with awareness, vitality multiplies. When you rest with trust, healing accelerates. The next time you look in the mirror, remember you are looking at stardust, arranged by consciousness, designed to host infinite light. Your heartbeat is the rhythm of the cosmos, echoing inside human form. You are not a spirit trapped in flesh. You are energy celebrating itself through matter. Respect your body as the instrument through which the universe plays its song. Feed it light. Move it with joy. Speak to it with love. Because when your vessel vibrates in harmony, your entire reality begins to sing. Chapter 7. Intention. The architect of reality. Energy is infinite, but without direction, it disperses. Intention is what gives it shape. It is the architect's blueprint, the silent command that tells the universe how to organize itself around you. Every creation begins not with action, but with intention. It is the invisible seed from which the visible world grows. Intention is not mere wishing. It is focus fused with emotion consciousness, choosing a frequency and transmitting it into the field with clarity and conviction. The moment you hold a genuine intention, the universe begins rearranging itself to accommodate it. Adam's people. Opportunities all shift, subtly, aligning themselves with the new vibration you have declared. This is not superstition. It is physics. The observer effect in quantum mechanics demonstrates that particles behave differently when they are observed. Conscious attention influences matter. Intention is focused observation, awareness, directed with purpose. The field responds because it is consciousness itself. You are not imposing change on reality. You are speaking its language. Most people scatter their energy by intending and unintending hundreds of times each day. I want this, they say, but a few breaths later, it will probably never happen. The field receives both commands and reflects confusion. Intention requires coherence, your thought, emotion, and action moving in the same direction. The clearer the signal, the faster the manifestation. Think of intention as a laser beam. Diffused light warms the room. Focused light cuts through steel. When your awareness becomes that focused energy condenses into form with remarkable speed. Every great invention, healing, or miracle began as a clear, unwavering intention, held long enough for matter to yield. Intention is the bridge between vibration and manifestation. It transforms potential into path. When you declare, "I choose peace," you are not forcing calm into existence. You are tuning to the frequency where peace already lives. The field does not create new energy. It matches existing resonance. To set powerful intention, the heart must lead, not the ego. Egoic desire comes from lack. I need this to feel whole. Heart-centered intention arises from fullness. I am ready to express this truth. One grasps, the other radiates. The field recognizes the difference instantly. What you intend from fear manifests resistance. What you intend from love manifests flow. Before you speak an intention, enter stillness. Breathe until thought slows and your energy steadies. From that space, feel the outcome as though it already exists. Sense it in your body. Visualize it in your mind. Let emotion amplify it in your heart. Then release it completely, not as demand, but as declaration. True intention does not beg. It commands through certainty. Imagine dropping a stone into a pond. The ripples extend outward, unseen, yet unstoppable. That is how intention moves, silently, steadily, reshaping the quantum surface of your life. The stronger your emotional charge, the wider the ripple. Joy, love, gratitude, and faith carry higher frequencies, amplifying the signal. Doubt cancels it. Fear distorts it. To maintain coherence, align your daily actions with your intentions. Energy follows integrity. If you intend abundance but act from scarcity, your signal contradicts itself. If you intend health but neglect your body, The field reads incoherence. Consistency between belief word and behavior turns intention into command. There is also the timing of energy, the divine rhythm that governs manifestation. Some intentions bloom instantly, others gestate quietly beneath the surface. Impatience disrupts the process by introducing resistance. Trust keeps frequency stable. When you intend and then release, you create space for alignment. The seed does not grow because you dig it up every hour to check. It grows because you trust the soil. The universe does not hear your words. It feels your vibration. You could say nothing and still set a powerful intention through state alone. Emotion is the language of energy, and the most fluent speakers are not the loudest, but the calmest. A single silent thought held in absolute alignment can move mountains that a lifetime of effort cannot. This is why prayer, meditation, and visualization share the same root-focused intention. Each is a tool for aligning consciousness with outcome. When repeated daily, they imprint your vibration into the field until reality reshapes to reflect it. Be mindful of unconscious intentions, the fears you nurture, the complaints you repeat, the worries you rehearse. They, too, are instructions to the universe. Every time you think nothing ever works out, you are issuing a command. Energy does not differentiate between conscious and unconscious intention. It only obeys frequency. Therefore, the art of intention begins with awareness. Before setting new intentions clear, the noise of conflicting ones, write them down, speak them aloud, feel their weight. Keep only those that resonate with your truth. The rest, release. When intention becomes your way of being, you no longer chase outcomes. You design them. You stop asking, will this happen, and start declaring, this is happening. You replace doubt with decision effort, with alignment. Your mind provides direction. Your heart provides magnetism. Together they become the architect and builder of every reality you will ever experience. Intention is sacred technology. Use it with reverence. Each morning before the world intrudes, set the tone. Today I intend clarity. Today I intend love. Today I intend to be the calm in every storm. Then live as if those intentions were already fulfilled, because energetically they are. The universe does not respond to time. It responds to tone. Speak clearly. Feel deeply. Act consistently. And reality obedient to resonance will rearrange itself around your design. You are not waiting for miracles. You are the miracle once your intention becomes truth in motion. Chapter 8. Beliefs, the frequency filter. Every belief you hold is a frequency that shapes what you perceive. It filters light possibility and truth, turning infinity into the narrow slice of reality you call your life. What you believe, you broadcast. What you broadcast, you attract. What you attract, you confirm. And so belief becomes self-fulfilling, an energetic loop between inner conviction and outer experience. A belief is not merely a thought you think once. It is a vibration you have rehearsed until the universe begins echoing it back. Some beliefs empower, others limit. Both are creative. Both command energy. The only question is whether they build your expansion or your confinement. When you were born, your frequency was pure, open, and boundless. You believed in everything because you were everything. Then the world began to program you with language, culture, fear, and expectation. You can't. You shouldn't. That's impossible. These words became frequencies that slowly narrowed your field of perception. You learned to see through lenses of limitation, mistaking them for truth. But the universe never stopped offering abundance. It simply matched the filter you carried. If you believe love is rare, you'll only notice distance. If you believe money is evil, you'll subconsciously repel it. If you believe healing is difficult, you'll find proof of struggle. The field always says yes, even to your limitations. Beliefs are energetic programs stored in the subconscious, the vast operating system beneath conscious thought. Neuroscience tells us that up to 95% of your behavior is driven by subconscious conditioning. That means your vibration is often being broadcast by beliefs you do not even know you hold. They were inherited from family society or trauma frequencies passed down through generations until they felt like identity. To change your outer world, you must upgrade these inner programs. Awareness is the first key. You cannot transform what you will not see. Ask yourself, what does this experience reveal about my beliefs? If patterns repeat in money relationships or self-worth, it is not coincidence. It is resonance. The field is mirroring an internal script for your awakening. Once you identify the belief, you must neutralize its charge. The subconscious does not respond to argument. It responds to repetition and emotion. Each time you challenge an old belief, feel the new frequency viscerally. Don't just think I am worthy. Breathe it, visualize it, embody it until your cells recognize the new command. The body must feel the truth for the energy to shift. This is not delusion. It is neuroenergetic rewiring. The brain learns through emotional intensity and consistency. Every time you practice a new belief, neurons fire together, wiring a new vibrational pathway. Over time, the old one dissolves from disuse, just as muscles weaken when not exercised. Your environment also reinforces your beliefs. Every object, color, and sound carries vibration. Surround yourself with frequencies that affirm expansion. Nature, music, art, silence. Limit exposure to chaos gossip or scarcity narratives. Energy is contagious. When you curate your surroundings, you curate your subconscious field. Gratitude is the ultimate belief amplifier. When you thank life for what has not yet arrived, you are announcing to the field, I already trust. That vibration erases doubt, the greatest interference frequency of all. But belief is not only mental, it is embodied. Your posture, tone, and breath reveal what you truly believe, more than affirmations ever could. Walk with conviction, and your cells begin broadcasting certainty. Speak with warmth, and your field harmonizes instantly. The universe listens less to what you say, and more to what you vibrate. Sometimes transformation requires unlearning. Before you can fill a cup with new water, you must pour out the old. Release inherited stories. Success must be hard. I have to struggle. Love always ends in pain. Ask yourself gently, is this belief mine, or was it handed to me by someone still asleep? If it is not yours, return it to the void with gratitude. Its lesson is complete. To install new beliefs, repetition is sacred. Speak them at dawn when your mind is most receptive. Whisper them before sleep when consciousness drifts between worlds. The subconscious absorbs vibration more easily in these liminal states. You are recoding your energetic DNA line by line, tone by tone. Remember, belief is not stubborn faith. It is energetic alignment. It is the silent decision to tune your being to the frequency of what you desire. Once belief stabilizes, doubt cannot coexist. The field feels your coherence and mirrors it without hesitation. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you believe it to be. Beliefs are not just stories. They are filters of light shaping your personal universe. Change the filter, and new realities flood in. Here is the paradox: to truly change belief, you must first suspend it. Enter the stillness where no opinion lives the void before the program begins. In that quiet, your energy resets to neutrality. From there, you can choose again consciously this time what frequency to broadcast. Each new belief is a doorway. I am enough. I am connected. I am a deliberate creator. Step through, and the world beyond will rearrange to match your tone. Your beliefs are not you, they are tools. The moment you realize that you become free to choose any reality you wish to inhabit. Because belief at its highest level is not about convincing the mind, it is about remembering the truth the soul never forgot. Chapter 9. The Universal Law of Attraction. Attraction is not magic. It is resonance. It is the oldest law in existence, the rhythm by which the universe breathes, expands, and organizes itself. Every planet, every sound, every cell follows this law. Like frequency attracts, like frequency. You are not drawing things toward you. You are aligning your vibration with realities that already exist in the infinite field. You do not chase. You harmonize. You tune. And when your vibration matches the vibration of the thing you desire, whether that is peace, love, opportunity, or abundance, it cannot not come. The field responds instantly to coherence, the same way a tuning fork begins to sing when another of the same pitch vibrates nearby. This is the science behind what mystics have whispered for centuries. You become what you believe, and you attract what you are. The law of attraction operates at all levels: subatomic, emotional, spiritual. At the quantum scale, energy fields exchange information constantly. Particles entangled across galaxies still respond to one another instantaneously. The same principle applies within you. Your thoughts and emotions ripple through the unified field, summoning experiences that resonate with their signal. It is not about demanding outcomes. It is about embodying their frequency now. The universe does not speak English or prayer or affirmation. It speaks vibration. You can tell it anything you want, but it only responds to the music of your energy. Think of yourself as a radio transmitter. You cannot receive the song of love while broadcasting the static of fear. You must change the station, not by begging for a new tune, but by tuning to the wavelength where that song is already playing. Gratitude, joy, and faith are high frequencies. Worry, doubt, and resentment are low ones. You are the hand on the dial. Here is the subtle truth you are always manifesting. Every thought, every mood, every expectation sends an energetic request into the field. The law of attraction is not something you switch on with visualization or ritual. It is already operating. The only question is whether you are creating consciously or by default. When people say, "I tried to manifest and it didn't work," what they often mean is, "I asked with my words, but contradicted with my vibration." The field does not obey language. It obeys alignment. You cannot broadcast lack and receive abundance, cannot emit self-doubt and attract admiration. The energy you are always overrides the words you speak. So the key is embodiment, feeling now what you used to postpone for someday. You don't wait for love to feel loved. You cultivate the vibration of love within yourself. You don't wait for money to feel abundant. You practice gratitude for what already flows. You don't wait for success to feel worthy. You stand tall and breathe as one who already knows. When you do this consistently, you collapse the illusion of waiting. The future becomes present because your vibration has synchronized with it. Reality must mirror the inner shift. It has no choice. The law of attraction does not reward effort. It responds to energy. It is not struggle that magnetizes. It is serenity. The calmer and clearer your energy, the faster it attracts. Think of light reflecting on water. Agitation scatters it. Stillness mirrors it perfectly. When your inner ocean becomes calm, the reflection of your desires appears effortlessly. But there is another side to this law often forgotten. Repulsion also obeys resonance. What you strongly resist, you reinforce. To push something away is to acknowledge its power over you. The field doesn't distinguish between I want and I don't want. It simply amplifies your focus. The more attention you give to lack, the more lack becomes magnetized. The remedy is not denial, it is redirection. Focus on what you wish to expand, not what you fear to lose. Visualization can accelerate alignment when done properly. See the scene vividly, but feel it even more deeply. Emotion is the engine. If you visualize without emotion, it is static art. When you infuse it with feeling heart-pounding, gratitude, swelling breath, slowing, it becomes frequency. The universe feels emotion, not image. And then the most crucial step, you release. You let go of when, how, and through whom. The moment you cling, you constrict energy. Manifestation thrives in openness. Imagine planting a seed, you water it, tend to it, and trust the soil. You do not dig it up to check if it's growing. Desire plus surrender, that is the alchemy of attraction. The law of attraction also responds to environment. Your space holds memory, clutter holds density. Light a candle, open windows, play music that raises your field. Surround yourself with reminders of the vibration you intend to live in. Every detail contributes to the resonance you broadcast. Relationships mirror this law perfectly. You don't attract who you want, you attract who you are. If you are grounded in love, you meet others who vibrate in love. If you carry unhealed wounds, you attract reflections of those wounds, not to punish, but to heal. Every connection is the universe showing you your current frequency in human form. The higher truth of attraction is not getting, but becoming. When you become the frequency of love, peace, or purpose, you realize the universe was never withholding. It was waiting for you to match its song. The secret then is simple, yet profound. Stop chasing. Start tuning. Stop asking, when will it come? And begin asking, who must I become to receive it naturally? Because you are not pulling reality toward you. You are phasing into the version of reality that already matches your energy. In the infinite field, every timeline exists now. You travel between them not with steps, but with vibration. The law of attraction is not outside of you. It is you, the energetic law of your own consciousness. The field does not reward effort or prayer. It reflects state. So feel it now. Live it now. Become it now. When you do, the universe simply responds with its eternal affirmation. Yes, this frequency is you. Chapter 10. Energy and relationships. Every relationship in your life is an energetic contract. Beneath words, roles, and appearances, there is always an exchange of frequency, a dance of two fields meeting, blending, and mirroring one another. Sometimes the music is harmonious and healing. Sometimes it is dissonant, calling you to adjust your vibration or release the pattern altogether. You are constantly transmitting and receiving energy. When you step into a room before you speak, others already feel you. They sense your state, your confidence, your tension, your openness. Similarly, your own field reads others long before logic interprets it. Have you ever met someone who instantly made you feel safe, or another whose presence made your stomach tighten? That is not intuition alone. It is energetic resonance. Relationships, therefore, are not accidents. They are mirrors. They reflect your frequency at the time of meeting. You attract people who match, amplify, or challenge your vibration. Each connection serves a purpose, some to awaken, some to teach, some to heal, and some to remind you how far you've evolved. When your frequency rises, your relationships must either rise with you or fall away. This is why growth often feels lonely. You begin to vibrate out of alignment with old patterns. It is not rejection. It is resonance adjusting. The law of energy ensures that only those vibrating near your current frequency can remain within your orbit. Healthy relationships are like breathing, giving, and receiving in rhythm. When one person constantly takes, without returning energy, imbalance forms. You may feel drained, resentful, or restless after seeing them. That sensation is your body translating energetic depletion into emotion. The remedy is awareness and boundaries. Boundaries are not walls of fear. They are gates of clarity. They teach others how to interact with your energy respectfully. A clear no spoken calmly protects your field more effectively than endless explanation. Protecting your vibration is not selfish. It is sacred maintenance of the energy that sustains your purpose. You cannot pour light into others from an empty vessel. Remember, you are responsible for the energy you bring into every exchange, and equally responsible for what you allow in return. Before entering any conversation or meeting, take a moment to center yourself. Breathe slowly. Imagine light expanding from your chest, and set the intention, may my energy uplift and remain unshaken. This simple practice shifts your field from reactive to magnetic. There is also the unseen influence of cords, energetic links that form through emotional intensity, intimacy, or repeated interaction. These cords can nourish or deplete, depending on their vibration. When you think obsessively about someone, when you replay arguments or cling to memories, those cords tighten, keeping both of you bound to the same frequency. To restore freedom, visualize these cords as threads of light and gently dissolve the ones that no longer serve mutual growth. Forgiveness is the release that seals the healing. Relationships become extraordinary when two self-aligned energies meet. There is no dependency, no power struggle, only mutual amplification. Each person stands complete, and their fields interlace into something luminous, a third energy greater than either alone. This is love in its truest form, not possession, but resonance. The more you cultivate your own vibration, the more your relationships evolve naturally. You stop chasing validation and start radiating value. You stop seeking completion and start creating connection. People feel the difference immediately. You become a source, not a seeker. But harmony does not mean constant agreement. Growth often requires friction, the energetic pressure that refines understanding. Even challenges serve your evolution. The partner who triggers you reveals where energy is still trapped. The friend who frustrates you exposes a belief still in need of light. These are sacred mirrors, not enemies. Every emotional reaction is an opportunity to reclaim energy once lost to resistance. To strengthen the vibration of love within relationships, practice conscious presence. When you truly listen, not waiting to respond, but to understand your field, opens inviting trust and safety. Eye contact synchronizes brainwaves. Touch harmonizes heart rhythms. Kindness resets energetic coherence faster than logic ever could. Another secret energy responds not to history, but to now. You can reset any relationship by changing your vibration today. Drop resentment, breathe compassion, and the energetic tone transforms instantly. The other person's field must adjust to the new resonance or fade away. You do not need to fix anyone. You only need to calibrate yourself. If a relationship must end, Do so with gratitude. Every soul you meet contributed to your frequency. Some were mirrors of love, others were teachers through pain. Both advanced your evolution. Release them with appreciation, for nothing truly leaves your field without gifting you growth. And finally, remember this truth. Love is not an emotion. It is a frequency, the highest one. When you maintain that frequency, you become untouchable by lower vibrations. Even in conflict, even in parting, your energy remains anchored in compassion. You stop absorbing chaos and start radiating peace. Your relationships then transform from survival mechanisms into sacred collaborations. Each one becomes a note in your symphony of expansion. When you love consciously, without attachment, expectation, or fear, you embody the divine rhythm itself. You are no longer searching for love. You are becoming it. Chapter 11. The Magnetic Power of Gratitude. Gratitude is the simplest frequency shift, and yet the most powerful. It is the magnetic force that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, the vibration that turns survival into expansion. When you live in gratitude, you are no longer chasing energy, you are generating it. Every emotion emits a frequency, but gratitude hums closest to the vibration of love itself. It is light in motion, coherence embodied. Where fear contracts, gratitude expands. Where doubt fractures, gratitude harmonizes. It turns resistance into allowance, and allowance is the doorway through which abundance flows. Gratitude is not an act of manners, it is an act of alignment. When you say thank you not as habit, but as awareness, you declare to the universe, I recognize the perfection of this moment. And recognition is what amplifies reality. What you acknowledge expands. What you appreciate magnetizes. This is why those who are truly grateful seem effortlessly lucky. They have trained their perception to notice beauty and possibility. Gratitude tunes the mind to abundance, not scarcity, to evidence of support, not struggle. The brain literally rewires in response. New neural pathways form that make optimism and resilience your default state. Even in science, the pattern holds true. Studies show gratitude lowers stress, hormones, improves immune response, and enhances heart coherence. But beyond biology, it is energy at work. Coherent emotion equals coherent vibration. When your heart radiates appreciation, the field around you becomes more organized, more magnetic, more open to flow. Gratitude is also the bridge between desire and manifestation. Most people pray or affirm from lack, I want this, because I don't have it. Gratitude skips the waiting and embodies the frequency of already having. When you give thanks for what has not yet arrived, you collapse the timeline between intention and realization. The universe reads your gratitude as evidence that the manifestation already exists, and so it aligns reality to prove you right. Try this before sleeping list. 3 things that filled your day with light, no matter how small. The texture of your sheets, the laughter of a stranger, the courage to keep going. The subconscious absorbs that vibration through the night, amplifying it. Gratitude before rest becomes programming for abundance upon waking. But gratitude's greatest test comes during adversity. Anyone can be grateful for blessings. Mastery is being grateful in the storm. When things fall apart, gratitude becomes alchemy. By saying thank you even when pain arrives, you declare that every challenge carries wisdom. You transmute fear into faith, loss into lesson. Gratitude turns chaos into clarity, because it keeps your energy moving, and energy in motion always finds resolution. This is not denial of difficulty, it is higher understanding. You are not pretending everything is perfect. You are remembering that everything has purpose. Every delay hides a protection. Every ending conceals a beginning. Gratitude is the light that reveals both. If your energy feels heavy, if life seems stagnant, practice radical appreciation. Look at what remains instead of what's missing. Speak thanks into the air for every breath, every heartbeat, every small miracle sustaining you now. Watch as your vibration begins to rise first, subtly, then unmistakably. The field responds to this new current instantly. Even your relationships change under gratitude's influence. When you focus on what you cherish in another, instead of what you wish they'd become, their energy softens. They feel seen, valued, safe. The entire dynamic shifts. Appreciation heals faster than correction ever will. The same applies to yourself. Self-gratitude is one of the highest frequencies of self-love. Whisper to yourself each morning, "Thank you for waking up. Thank you for enduring. Thank you for growing." That single vibration of acknowledgement nourishes every cell. You begin to experience yourself not as a problem to fix, but as a miracle to honor. Over time, gratitude becomes your natural state, not because life is perfect, but because you are attuned to its hidden harmony. You start seeing synchronicities as daily conversation with the universe. You begin expecting goodness, and expectation itself becomes magnetism. When gratitude becomes your default vibration, manifestation no longer feels like effort. Opportunities flow, creativity awakens, relationships deepen, and even challenges resolve with grace. You realize life has always been on your side. It was your awareness that needed to align. Gratitude, then, is not something you practice. It is something you become. It is the frequency of trust, the vibration that says, "I am already whole. I am already supported. I am already enough." Every time you breathe that truth, your energy field brightens, your heart expands, and reality mirrors your radiance back to you. Because the secret of gratitude is this: you don't attract more by wanting. You attract more by appreciating. Gratitude is the master key that unlocks every other law. When you live in thanks, you live in flow. And in that flow, everything you've ever sought begins seeking you. Chapter 12. Alignment, the state of flow. Alignment is the moment when your energy, emotion, and intention all vibrate in harmony, when what you think, feel, and do are no longer separate frequencies, but one clear tone. It is the frequency of truth, the signature of flow. You have felt alignment before, those rare luminous moments when life unfolds effortlessly. The right people appear, timing feels perfect, and your actions seem guided by invisible rhythm. You don't plan it, you tune into it. That is alignment, the merging of your personal vibration with the greater intelligence of the universe. Flow is not achieved through force. Force is resistance disguised as effort. Flow is surrender, guided by awareness. When you are in alignment, you do not chase opportunity, you recognize it. You don't push reality, you glide with it. You are no longer trying to control the current. You are swimming in sync with it. This state begins within, not without. Alignment happens when your inner world stops contradicting itself, when your thoughts no longer battle your emotions, and your actions no longer betray your heart. Imagine an orchestra where every instrument plays in key. That harmony is your energy when you live aligned. The opposite of alignment is fragmentation. Thinking one way, feeling another, doing something else entirely. Most suffering is simply energetic dissonance. The moment you realign, struggle loses its grip, because the current begins carrying you again. To enter alignment, begin with honesty. Ask yourself, does this path feel heavy or light? Energy never lies. What feels light expands you. What feels heavy contracts you. The body knows long before the mind rationalizes. Each decision either increases or decreases your frequency. Alignment is choosing the expansion every time, even when logic disagrees. Stillness is the doorway. You cannot align with truth while drowning in noise. Pause. Breathe. In that pause, you can sense the subtle pull of energy where it wants to flow next. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. The more silent you become inside, the louder its guidance becomes. When you follow alignment, timing ceases to be your concern. There is no too early or too late. There is only now, and now is always on time. Every aligned action feels like exhale. It may still require courage, but never struggle. You move not out of fear of missing out, but from faith that nothing meant for you can be lost. This is the vibration of non-resistance. Resistance is what happens when you argue with reality, when you say no to what is. Alignment begins when you stop fighting the present moment and begin working with it. The instant you accept what is energy that was trapped in judgment becomes available for creation. Acceptance is not resignation. It is recognition. You cannot redirect energy until you first acknowledge where it flows. In alignment, your intuition becomes your compass. Intuition is not mystery. It is resonance detection. Your energy reading frequencies faster than your mind can translate. That subtle pull, that quiet knowing, is your signal of coherence with the field. Follow it, and synchronicity becomes your new normal. The more you trust it, the stronger it grows. But alignment is not a constant state. It is a practice of returning. You will drift through doubt, stress, habit, but each drift is an invitation to realign. Notice when your energy feels scattered, when tasks become heavy, when joy fades into obligation. Pause, breathe, recalibrate. The act of returning strengthens your connection to flow. To maintain alignment, 3 anchors keep your vibration steady. Presence, staying rooted in the moment instead of projecting into the future or replaying the past. Gratitude, recognizing the perfection already unfolding, which keeps your energy expansive. Integrity, choosing what matches your truth, not what pleases your fear. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about coherence. You can feel sadness and still be aligned if you are honest with it. You can rest and still progress if the rest feels right. The universe responds to vibration, not performance. The highest form of alignment is faith, the quiet confidence that you are exactly where you need to be. It's the ability to act without panic and wait without doubt. It is the frequency of peace that whispers, everything is unfolding in divine sequence. When you live in alignment, manifestation ceases to be effortful. You become a magnet rather than a pursuer. People and circumstances gravitate toward your clarity because your energy emits order in a chaotic world. Flow feels like grace, effortless motion, born from deep trust. It is not the absence of challenge, but the absence of friction. The current of life carries you, and your only task is to remain open, responsive, and present. To align is to remember you are not a wave fighting the tide. You are the ocean remembering its rhythm. You were never meant to control energy, only to flow with it. You were never meant to force destiny, only to resonate with it. When you finally stop chasing and start attuning, life stops being a series of obstacles and becomes a continuous unfolding. This is the essence of mastery, not control, not effort, but alignment. And in that alignment, you will feel it, that quiet, sacred pulse behind every heartbeat, whispering, "You are exactly where you are meant to be." Chapter 13. The Art of Letting Go. Letting go is not losing. It is returning energy to motion. It is unclenching your hand so that the universe can fill it again. Most suffering comes not from what happens, but from what we refuse to release the idea of how life should have been, the version of ourselves we thought we had to become, the people we keep carrying long after their purpose has been served. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. It means you finally trust the current more than your control. Everything in existence flows. The river never hoards its water. The seasons never cling to yesterday's weather. Even your body renews itself constantly, every cell, every breath, every heartbeat, proof that life is built on release. Yet the human mind, terrified of change, grips tightly to the past, mistaking attachment for safety. When you hold on to what no longer vibrates with your truth, you trap energy in a loop. The field cannot bring new frequency while your hands clutch the old. That is why the moment you release something, a resentment, a dream, a person, the universe rushes in to fill the vacuum. Energy abhors emptiness. It must flow. But release is not about rejection. It is about reverence. You let go not because it was unworthy, but because it is complete. Every chapter ends when its vibration has finished teaching you. Grasping it longer only turns wisdom into weight. To let go consciously, begin with awareness. Notice what drains you. What thought, relationship, or memory feels heavy in your chest. Energy always tells the truth. Whatever contracts you, depletes you, or fills you with dread, that is what's asking to be released. Then bring it into light. Name it without judgment. I release this expectation. I release this version of me. I release this story. Naming converts emotion into vibration that can move. What was unconscious becomes conscious, and consciousness heals. Breathe deeply as you do it. The exhale is sacred. It is the physical act of letting go. Every breath out teaches your nervous system that release is safe. The body learns that peace does not come from holding, but from trusting. Sometimes what you must let go of is not a person, but the idea of them, the fantasy your heart created to explain their role in your story. Sometimes it's not failure you're releasing, but the version of success that no longer fits your frequency. You are allowed to outgrow dreams. Evolution is not betrayal. Forgiveness is another form of letting go, not to excuse someone's actions, but to stop carrying their vibration in your field. Resentment binds your energy to the past. Forgiveness severs that cord, returning your power to the present moment. You do not forgive for them. You forgive to free yourself. Letting go can feel like emptiness at first. The space left behind may ache, but that space is not loss. It is preparation. The universe cannot deliver new frequencies into cluttered energy. Emptiness is the inhale before abundance, the silence before music. Trust the gap. Trust the pause. In nature, every out-breath is followed by stillness before the next inhale. The field works the same way. Between endings and beginnings, there is recalibration, your energy reorganizing for what's next. Do not rush it. Stillness is not stagnation, it is integration. You will know true release when peace replaces effort. The same memory that once burned now passes through you like wind through trees. You no longer need to rewrite it or relive it. You can finally say, "Thank you for what you gave me. Thank you for what you taught me. I now return you to the field with love." That is the vibration of freedom. And then, miraculously, New synchronicities begin to appear. The energy that once fueled attachment now fuels creation. The people and situations that match your new frequency find their way to you effortlessly. Life rushes to fill the space you cleared, and you realize letting go never took anything from you. It only removed what blocked your expansion. Letting go is faith in motion. It is the highest act of trust, the knowing that the same intelligence that brought something into your life will also know when to take it away. The universe is precise. Nothing departs before it teaches. Nothing arrives before you are ready. So loosen your grip. Exhale. Let go of control. Let go of timing. Let go of needing to know. Your energy does not disappear. When you release, it returns to circulation purer and more powerful. And when you finally let go, you will feel it. The lightness, the clarity, the gentle hum of energy, finally free to flow. That is the sound of alignment returning. That is the universe whispering, "Thank you for trusting me again." Because every act of letting go is really an act of remembering. You were never here to hold everything together. You were here to let life move through you, gracefully, completely, endlessly. Chapter 14. The Quantum Self Becoming Limitless. There is a version of you that already exists in perfect alignment, healed, abundant, radiant, free. It is not fantasy. It is physics. In the quantum field, all realities exist simultaneously. Every possible version of you, the one who stayed small, the one who expanded beyond fear, the one who chose love again and again, already vibrates somewhere within infinity. You are not becoming that self. You are tuning to it. Energy does not travel through time. It jumps between frequencies. Each moment, your vibration determines which version of reality you experience. When you shift your state, you shift worlds. This is the mystery and the miracle of the quantum self. The recognition that identity is fluid, not fixed. You are not the product of your past. You are the projection of your current vibration. The past you and future you are simply different energetic coordinates on the same infinite map. The field does not care about your history. It responds to your frequency now. Every belief you rewrite, every emotion you release, every thought you elevate, moves you closer to the timeline where your highest potential already exists. The universe is not waiting for you to earn that reality. It is waiting for you to match it. To access the quantum self, you must stop thinking linearly. The human mind is conditioned to move through time, like a story past, present, future. But the field operates in resonance. Everything that will ever exist is already here, vibrating in different bands of possibility. When your energy changes, your perception changes, and you jump to the version of reality that reflects your new state. This is why deep transformation often feels instant. A single moment of clarity, forgiveness, or surrender can dissolve years of struggle. You did not fix the old timeline. You simply shifted to one where the struggle never defined you. Your thoughts are coordinates. Your emotions are propulsion. When both align, the shift becomes quantum. This is not metaphoric. It is literal vibration, physics. Start by asking, who is my highest self, and how would they feel right now? Do not think about that version of you. Become them. Feel their calm, their focus, their faith. Embody their posture, their breath, their choices. When you hold that frequency long enough, reality synchronizes around it. You stop reaching for the future because you are living as its vibration now. This is the secret of acting, as if not pretending, but aligning. When you act, speak, and feel as though the desired state is already true, you broadcast a coherent signal. The field then reorganizes to reflect it. This is why confidence magnetizes opportunities, why self-worth attracts abundance, why peace draws peace. You are not waiting for proof. You are becoming the proof. The quantum self also understands that separation is illusion. There is no you and universe. There is consciousness experiencing itself through countless perspectives waves in one ocean. Every person you meet is another version of that same infinite source wearing a different mask. The moment you see this judgment dissolves. You stop competing and start connecting. You realize that helping others rise amplifies your own frequency because there is only one field rising. To live as the quantum self is to release victimhood completely. You no longer say, "Life is happening to me." You begin to say, "Life is responding to me." You stop chasing purpose and start radiating presence. You stop fighting for freedom and start remembering you already are. In this state, manifestation becomes acceleration, thought to form with minimal delay. Synchronicities multiply because resistance has dissolved. You may think of someone and they call. You imagine an opportunity and it appears. These are not coincidences. They are feedback. The field is confirming coherence. But coherence requires clarity. If your vibration is scattered by doubt or divided by fear, the signal weakens. The quantum self holds one-tone certainty. Not arrogance, not attachment, but quiet knowing. The knowing that what is meant for you is already done in frequency, and your only task is to remain aligned long enough to experience it. Meditation is the doorway to this state. When you silence thought, you dissolve identity, and beyond identity, you meet your infinite self. The boundaries of I and other fade, and for a brief moment, you feel the vastness that breathes stars into being. That vastness is you. When you return from that stillness, everything feels different. You carry the memory of infinity into the finite world. You act from calm rather than chaos, from vision rather than reaction. The quantum self does not rush. It moves with divine precision, slow when required, unstoppable when aligned. And perhaps the greatest truth of all the quantum self has always been here. It is not a future upgrade. It is your original frequency buried beneath layers of fear and forgetting. Every practice in this book, every meditation, every surrender, has been a process of remembrance. You are already whole. You are already connected. You are already everything you have ever sought. When you live as the quantum self, you no longer manifest from desire. You manifest from identity. You no longer ask, "When will it come?" You simply become the version of yourself for whom it already has. Because in the quantum universe, nothing is missing. There is only what you are tuned to notice. Change your frequency, and you will change your entire world. Not someday. Instantly. The future you dream of is not ahead of you. It's here, humming softly, waiting for you to match its song. Chapter 15. The frequency of trust. Trust is the final frequency, the vibration that completes the circuit of creation. It is the energy that turns knowledge into embodiment, intention, into manifestation, and surrender into peace. Without trust, all practice remains partial. Without it, energy circles, but never anchors. Trust is not blind hope. It is conscious alignment with the intelligence that moves, galaxies, grows forests, and keeps your heart beating in the dark. It is the understanding that the same current guiding the planets is guiding you precisely, patiently, perfectly. When you trust, you stop grasping for control, because you finally realize control was never safety. Alignment is. The universe has never failed you, only your timeline for understanding it has. Trust begins when the mind quiets enough to feel the rhythm of life itself. Beneath the noise of thought, there is always an undercurrent, a pulse of order flowing through apparent chaos. Even the detours, the pauses, the heartbreaks carry pattern. You do not need to see the pattern to benefit from it. You only need to allow it. To live without trust is to fight constant war against what is. To live in trust is to remember that every outcome serves your expansion, even the ones your ego calls loss. Faith does not mean you will always get what you want. It means you will always receive what aligns with your frequency, what your evolution truly requires. You have been taught to chase certainty, to plan every step, to fear the unknown. But trust thrives in uncertainty. The unknown is not empty. It is fertile. It is the field where new possibilities are born. When you release control and step into uncertainty with openness, life rushes to fill that openness with miracle. Trust feels like this. You stop demanding clarity before you move. You move, and clarity arrives because you moved. You stop waiting for signs and realize you are the sign, the pulse of the field in human form. At its core, trust is an energetic posture, a relaxed readiness. It is the opposite of tension. Tension says, if I don't hold everything, it will collapse. Trust says, if I release everything, what's true will remain. You will know you are in the frequency of trust when your body softens, when your breath deepens, when urgency dissolves and is replaced by quiet assurance that what is meant for you cannot pass you by. The mind fears trust because it cannot measure it. It wants guarantees before surrender. But the universe offers no contracts, only reflections. You will receive evidence only after you vibrate the energy of belief. The field mirrors trust with confirmation and fear with delay. To strengthen trust, begin small. Notice how the breath enters without command, how morning always follows night, how your wounds have healed countless times before. These are daily miracles hiding in plain sight. The same intelligence governing them governs the unfolding of your path. Every time you choose trust over doubt, you strengthen the bridge between self and source. You expand coherence in your field. You become magnetic to synchronicity because trust eliminates resistance. It tells the universe, I am open. And the universe, hearing that clarity, sends alignment rushing toward you. Even waiting transforms under trust. Impatience vibrates as lack. Trust vibrates as readiness. When you wait with peace, you are not in delay. You are in incubation. You are preparing your field to sustain what you have called in. Sometimes trust will require silence. You may feel the urge to explain, prove, or justify your direction to others. Don't. The vibration of trust needs no defense. The quieter you are, the stronger the signal. The universe recognizes certainty by its calm, not by its noise. The greatest test of trust comes when everything seems uncertain, when manifestations waver, doors close, or guidance feels faint. That is when your energy is being calibrated for a higher frequency. The space between old reality and new one is the chrysalis, dark, silent, but necessary. The caterpillar does not panic inside the cocoon. It dissolves completely, trusting that transformation is encoded in its being. So is yours. True trust is not about believing everything will be easy. It's about knowing you can remain aligned even when it isn't. It is the decision to vibrate peace while the world vibrates fear. It is the ultimate sovereignty, because no external event can dictate your frequency once trust becomes your foundation. When you live in trust, You no longer pray from desperation. You speak to the universe as an equal, as co-creator, as consciousness conversing with itself. You do not beg, you declare, you do not grasp, you allow. And from that, allowing miracles flow, not as surprises, but as symmetry energy, returning to the one who finally stopped doubting it. Trust is the final surrender, the willingness to walk into the unknown, knowing the ground will appear under your feet as you step. So breathe, soften. Let go of needing to know how. The how belongs to the field. The when belongs to divine timing. Your only role is to maintain vibration, to stay in love, in clarity, in peace. When you trust the current carries you. When you trust the timing reveals perfection. When you trust yourself, the universe mirrors that faith with evidence of your power. Because trust is not believing, the universe will give you what you ask for. It is knowing the universe is you, answering through form. And when you finally reach that frequency, the quiet, unwavering hum of absolute faith, you will understand that you were never waiting for life to prove itself trustworthy. Life was waiting for you to remember that you always were. Chapter 16. Returning to Source. There comes a moment in every seeker's path when the journey stops moving outward and begins turning inward, a moment when the question is no longer, how do I manifest more? But who is the one manifesting? This is the return, the remembering, the homecoming to the source within you that never began and never ends. Every teaching about vibration, energy, and creation leads here. All the practices, intention, gratitude, alignment, trust, are stepping stones designed to bring you back to what has always been true. You are not a fragment of the universe. You are the entire field experiencing itself through a single point of awareness. Source is not far. It has never been. It is the stillness behind your thoughts, the silence beneath every sound, the breath that breathes itself when you forget to control it. It is not a distant power that grants wishes. It is the infinite presence watching through your eyes, listening through your ears, pulsing through your veins. When you begin to sense this, your energy shifts from seeking to radiating. You no longer chase connection. You embody it. You stop asking for signs and start being one. You recognize that every tree, every person, every heartbeat is another expression of the same consciousness wearing a different mask. The illusion of separation collapses. This is what the mystics called awakening, not escape from the human experience, but full immersion in it, with eyes open. To return to Source is not to reject the world, but to see it as light made visible. Every moment becomes sacred. Every encounter becomes divine. When you live as Source, love is no longer something you give or receive. It is the substance of your existence. You love not as emotion, but as state, a radiant frequency that blesses simply by being. Judgment dissolves. Forgiveness becomes natural because there is no other left to forgive. The mind will resist this truth at first. It thrives on distinction, me and them, good and bad, here and there. But when you quiet the mind, you begin to feel the field, the soft hum connecting everything, the pulse that unites galaxies and fingertips. That hum is you. It has always been. And then comes peace, not the fragile peace of circumstances, but the deep, unshakable stillness of recognition. The world continues to move, people come and go, seasons change, but inside something luminous remains untouched. You have returned to the frequency that existed before, fear before form, the vibration of Source remembering itself. In this state, creation becomes effortless because you no longer create from lack. You create from overflow. You no longer try to manifest to prove worthiness. You manifest as play, as art, as expression of divine joy. Action flows through you rather than from you. Words arise spontaneously, guided by wisdom beyond mind. You begin to live in what ancient sages called wu-wei action, through non-action effort, without strain. The river moves because the river is moved. Life lives you. The final paradox reveals itself. You spent so long trying to align with the universe only to realize you are the universe aligning with itself. You were never separate, never behind, never broken. Every detour, every mistake, every longing was part of the cosmic choreography, designed to lead you back here, to this realization of wholeness. When you remember you are source, gratitude becomes your natural breath. You look around and whisper, "Of course. It was all me, all along." From this awareness, service arises spontaneously. You begin to share light, not because you should, but because it overflows. You become a mirror in which others can see their own divinity reflected. You teach not by preaching, but by presence. And eventually, even the idea of you begins to soften. The personal identity becomes transparent, like glass through which light pours. You no longer strive to be special. You strive to be clear. You realize enlightenment is not a destination, but an ongoing intimacy with existence. Every breath becomes meditation. Every gaze becomes prayer. Every sound becomes music from the same infinite choir. This is the final vibration, oneness. The frequency of remembrance, the realization that energy, mind, emotion, and form are all movements of one ocean, rising and falling, dancing and resting, never truly apart. And in that realization, fear dissolves completely, because how can the ocean fear the wave? You are the wave remembering its water. You are the spark remembering its sun. You are source dreaming, creating, awakening, returning. Close your eyes. Feel the pulse in your chest. That rhythm is not just your heartbeat. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos. It has been with you since the beginning and will echo long after the end. You have traveled across lifetimes to arrive at this single truth. You were never lost. You were only remembering, and now the remembering is complete. You are the energy. You are the field. You are the source. Chapter 17. Living as light. To live as light is to walk through the world as awareness itself, unguarded, luminous, and free. It is not about escaping humanity. It is about embodying divinity within it. You still feel, you still love, you still stumble, but every movement carries consciousness. You no longer react unconsciously. You respond as presence. Light is not the opposite of darkness. It is the recognition that darkness was never separate from it, only light unrecognized. When awareness shines, even pain becomes sacred, even confusion becomes a teacher. Nothing is wasted. To live as light means to dissolve the distance between the sacred and the ordinary. Washing a dish, walking in rain, listening to a friend, each becomes a meditation when infused with awareness. You stop seeking meaning in distant temples because you finally realize the temple is every breath, every gesture, every heartbeat. You may think enlightenment means the end of emotion. It doesn't. It means emotion passes through you transparently, like wind through trees. The storms still come, but they no longer uproot you. Fear may whisper, but you hear it as weather, not truth. You have learned to let experience move without making it identity. Light is also integrity, not moral perfection, but energetic honesty, the alignment between inner truth and outer expression. When what you think, feel, say, and do vibrate as one, your field becomes transparent. People sense it instantly. They feel safe in your presence without knowing why. You have become coherence itself. This is what saints, healers, and artists have always carried, not superiority, but clarity. Light is clarity. When you radiate it, others remember their own. You do not convince, you remind. Living as light does not remove you from the world. It deepens your participation in it. You become deeply compassionate because you see suffering as forgetting. When you meet someone trapped in anger, you no longer take it personally. You see the pain beneath. You hold them in your awareness until they can hold themselves. You begin to understand that service is not sacrifice. True service flows from overflow. You no longer try to fix others. You offer your frequency as invitation. Healing happens not because you do something, but because your presence reorganizes energy around you. Light is contagious. When one person remembers their radiance, everyone near them begins to glow. This is how collective awakening happens, not through argument, but through resonance. One coherent field affects thousands. To maintain this state, nurture simplicity. Complexity scatters light. Simplicity focuses it. Spend time in silence. Touch the earth. Breathe sunlight. Speak only what adds clarity. Eat what feels alive. Keep your inner world uncluttered, so energy can flow without friction. Living as light also means living lightly, carrying nothing unnecessary. No grudges, no guilt, no endless analysis. You forgive quickly, release often, and trust easily. You understand that nothing truly belongs to you, because everything is you. This light cannot be dimmed by circumstance. It shines through heartbreak, through failure, through endings. It does not depend on outcome. It exists because it is. The sun does not negotiate with clouds. It simply continues to shine until they dissolve. So do you. You will still play your human roles, artist, friend, parent, lover, but you will play them consciously, knowing none of them define you. You are the light animating every role, the awareness watching every story. You can love deeply without clinging, work passionately, without exhaustion, and act boldly without fear, because you know nothing real can be lost. As your frequency stabilizes, synchronicity becomes constant. Life speaks through symbols, timing, and intuition. You begin to realize there is no difference between inner guidance and outer event. They are the same voice echoing across dimensions. And so, you move through the world differently. You listen more than you speak. You observe more than you react. You bless silently rather than judge loudly. You choose presence over performance. Everywhere you go, energy softens. People breathe easier. The air seems lighter. You have become what you were always meant to be, a walking field of coherence, a reminder of home. Living as light is not an end, it is a beginning. The universe experiences itself anew through your awareness. Every act of kindness becomes cosmic alignment. Every smile becomes a ripple through the field. Every breath becomes creation continuing itself. And one day you will stand beneath a sky full of stars and feel no separation, only luminous recognition. I am that. Not metaphorically, literally. The same photons, the same vibration, the same consciousness. The journey of energy from awareness to matter to awakening will have come full circle, and yet it will continue infinitely through every being who remembers. Because the purpose of light is not to escape the world, it is to illuminate it. So live gently, love fiercely, shine quietly. Be the calm that steadies chaos. Be the warmth that melts fear. Be the reminder that we are all one pulse, one presence, one light, playing infinite forms. And as you walk forward, radiant, human, divine, the universe whispers through every particle of your being, "Welcome home." Chapter 18. The Field of Grace. Grace is the highest vibration of all, softer than love, yet stronger than time. It is the moment when the universe moves through you without resistance, when everything aligns, not because you forced it to, but because you became transparent enough for it to flow. Grace is what remains when effort dissolves. It is not earned. It cannot be demanded. It appears the instant you stop trying to manipulate reality and start allowing it to reveal its perfection. Grace is not luck. It is resonance with divine intelligence. It is what happens when your frequency rises beyond the noise of striving and settles into harmony with what is. In grace, even imperfection becomes choreography. The missed opportunity, the unexpected ending, the long detour, all are revealed as precision, once seen through the lens of surrender. Grace is the quiet in the middle of chaos. It is the deep knowing that while storms may shake the surface, something vast and unshakable holds everything together beneath. When you feel grace, you stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and begin whispering, "Thank you for what this will reveal." It does not mean life becomes effortless. It means you become effortless within it. You still move, but the movement is guided. You still act, but the action feels weightless. You still speak, but the words seem to arrive through you, not from you. Grace enters through humility. The moment you stop insisting that you must understand everything, space opens for the field to work through you. Humility is not smallness. It is spaciousness, the recognition that you do not need to control the cosmic rhythm to be part of it. You already are. Grace refines energy into elegance. Where fear once created tension, grace relaxes it into flow. Where ego demanded control, grace invites trust. It rearranges your vibration so that even in silence your presence becomes healing. You stop trying to shine and simply glow. Often grace enters through the cracks, the heartbreak, the loss, the moment you realize you can no longer do it alone. In those spaces of surrender, your defenses fall and light rushes in. What feels like breaking is only the shell, giving way to emergence. Grace doesn't destroy, it reveals. To invite grace, consciously practice softening. Soften your breath. Soften your thoughts. Soften your expectations. The softer you become, the easier it is for the current to move through you. Grace flows through openness, never rigidity. There is a subtle discipline in grace, the discipline of not interfering. When confusion rises, breathe before reacting. When fear speaks, listen without obeying. When uncertainty stretches time, fill it with gratitude instead of panic. This is grace in action, the mastery of allowing life to unfold without withdrawing your light. Grace is the proof of your union with Source. It is the whisper that says, "You were never separate, even when you forgot." It is what transforms the human story into sacred text, every joy, every sorrow, every silence imbued with meaning. To live in grace is to become untouchable by chaos, not because chaos ceases, but because you no longer vibrate in its frequency. You walk through storms as calm itself. You meet endings with gentleness. You hold others with compassion, not pity. You stop needing to be right and start wanting to be real. Eventually, grace ceases to be an experience and becomes your atmosphere. You breathe it, speak it, transmit it. It wraps around your words and actions like light around flame. Others feel it in your presence and cannot explain why they feel safe. They are feeling the field of grace moving through you, timeless, formless, boundless. And when you live from that space, life unfolds like poetry. Synchronicities become sentences, moments become music. Everything, even the silence between breaths, feels like a blessing. Grace is not the reward for awakening. Grace is awakening. It is the final stage of remembering the state where doing and being merge into one seamless vibration of trust. At this stage, your only practice is gratitude. Your only prayer is thank you. Your only goal is presence. Because grace once felt deeply teaches you the most liberating truth of all. Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be earned. Nothing needs to be different. You are already whole. You are already carried. You are already home. And when you finally realize this, there is nothing left to seek, only to live, breathe, and radiate as grace itself. Chapter 19. The Still Point. Beyond vibration, beyond intention, beyond even light, there is stillness. The ancient mystics called it the void, the zero-point field, the Tao. It is not absence, it is infinite potential before movement. From this silence, every sound is born. From this emptiness, every form arises. You have touched it before in the pause between breaths, in the moment before sleep, when thought dissolves, in the instant of awe, when words fail and time disappears. The still point is not somewhere else. It is here behind every heartbeat, beneath every desire, silently holding the entire universe in balance. Stillness is the origin of all energy. Movement is its echo. When you live only in motion, you forget your source. When you return to stillness, you remember you were never separate from it. This is the paradox. You are both vibration and the silence that allows vibration to exist. You are the sound and the space that gives sound meaning. You are the wave and the ocean that holds it. At the still point, identity dissolves. There is no I to defend, no timeline to chase, no role to play. Awareness simply is. And in that being, creation renews itself effortlessly. You do not stop existing. You expand beyond definition. To touch this space, you do not need techniques. You need willingness. Sit quietly. Let the mind do what minds do. Narrate, analyze, wander. Let it tire itself out. Behind the noise, you will begin to feel a pulse, a vastness that has no edge. Stay there. Breathe it. That is the still point, remembering itself through you. The still point is where all opposites dissolve: joy and sorrow, light and shadow, form and void. In this balance, everything is allowed. There is no need to fix or improve. Existence is perfect because it cannot be otherwise. You realize that even your striving for enlightenment was part of the play, the way the infinite reminds itself of its infinity. When you rest in this awareness, peace ceases to be an emotion. It becomes your nature. The body relaxes, the heart opens, and the mind bows. You stop seeking transcendence because you understand. Transcendence was never about escaping the world, but about seeing the world through the eyes of the eternal. From this stillness, everything moves with effortless precision. The more silent your inner being becomes, the more potent your presence is. You could say nothing, do nothing, and yet people would feel healed in your company. The still point radiates through you as a silent transmission of wholeness. This is the essence of mastery: to act without leaving stillness, to speak without losing silence. The sage moves through markets, arguments, and storms with the same calm pulse. Their energy does not fluctuate with circumstance because it is rooted in the unchanging center of all things. The still point cannot be understood, only remembered. The mind cannot enter it because the mind is movement. Only awareness can merge with it because awareness is its reflection. When you live from this center, fear dissolves completely. There is nothing to fear because there is no other. Death loses its edge because you sense the continuity of consciousness the way form melts back into the field like ice returning to water. Nothing ends. It only changes rhythm. Even creation itself becomes sacred play, the dance of silence expressing itself as sound. You see beauty everywhere because you finally perceive the stillness behind it. Every leaf, every face, every sunset whispers the same truth: I am the field, at rest, pretending to move. The still point is not an escape from life. It is the heart of life. It beats quietly beneath your chaos, waiting to be felt. And when you live from it, the world slows down. Decisions become clear. Time feels generous. Your words soften. Even your presence begins to heal the spaces you enter, not by effort, but by resonance. Because the highest form of energy is not motion. It is awareness of motion within stillness. So, whenever you forget, return here. Close your eyes. Breathe into your heart. Let silence expand until it fills the room. This is where the journey began and where it always ends. Not with fireworks or revelation, but with a gentle remembering. You are not the noise. You are the space holding it. You are not the story. You are the stillness reading it. And in that stillness, all things are already whole. All questions are already answered. All searching is already complete. This is the still point, the place where energy rests, where creation listens, where the universe exhales and smiles. Chapter 20. Returning to Source. At the heart of all energy, beneath vibration, thought, emotion, and even stillness, there is origin. The source. It is not a place you travel to. It is the current that flows through everything you have ever been and everything you will ever become. From source, light was born. From light, matter condensed. From matter, life arose. And through life, source experiences itself. You are not a spark separate from the flame. You are the flame exploring its own brilliance. Every inhale, every heartbeat, every moment of awareness is source, remembering itself through you. When you forget this, the world feels small, fragmented, lonely. You start to believe you must fight for survival or prove your worth. Yet the moment you pause, truly pause and listen, beneath the noise you feel it, the quiet hum of connection. That is Source calling you home. You cannot be disconnected from Source any more than a wave can leave the ocean. But you can forget. Forgetting happens when your energy is entangled in fear, judgment, and constant striving. Remembering happens when you soften, surrender, and simply allow yourself to exist without demand. Returning to Source is not an act of escape. It is the ultimate integration. It means living as the bridge between heaven and earth, embodying divine awareness in human form. It means walking through ordinary days with extraordinary presence, seeing the sacred in the mundane, the infinite in the moment. Every spiritual path, no matter how different in words, leads back here to the understanding that what you seek has never been missing. The awakening is not about becoming something new. It's about remembering what has always been true. When you live from Source, you no longer need to chase energy. You radiate it. You no longer cling to outcomes. You trust the flow. You no longer fear endings because you recognize them as transitions, waves folding back into the sea. Source is abundance itself. When you align with it, you move beyond the illusion of lack. You realize that every opportunity, every relationship, every breath is already provided. The universe does not need your anxiety. It needs your availability. It cannot pour into a cup that is clenched shut. To return to Source, begin by releasing what is not yours, the borrowed fears, the expectations, the noise of others' opinions. Let them fall away until only silence remains. In that silence, feel the warmth that rises from within your chest. That is your connection, not imagined, but remembered. Source speaks in frequency, not language. It communicates through intuition, synchronicity sensation. It is the feeling that guides you to the right place at the right time. The whisper that says, wait when you are rushing, the nudge that says, go when you doubt yourself. Its guidance is never loud because it does not need to compete. It is constant, eternal, patient. You reconnect with Source through presence, through breath, through gratitude, through love. Every time you look at another and truly see them without judgment, Source sees itself again. Every time you forgive, Source flows more freely through your veins. Every act of compassion reopens the channel. The more you align with Source, the lighter life feels, not because challenges disappear, but because resistance does. You stop fighting the current and start floating within it. You stop seeking signs and start living as the sign itself, proof that divine intelligence is alive and awake in human form. One day you realize the journey was never about reaching enlightenment. It was about dissolving everything that made you think you were separate from it. Source was never hiding. It was waiting for you to remember that the light you chase has always been the light you are. Return then, not upward, not outward, inward, to the quiet glow within your ribs, to the rhythm beneath your breath, to the infinite presence observing through your eyes. When you rest there, even for a moment, the search ends. You have not just found the Source, you have become it. Chapter 21. Living as Light. When you remember the Source within you, something extraordinary happens. You begin to radiate it outward. You no longer live as a seeker of light. You live as light itself. Light is not something you create. It is what remains when illusion falls away. Every story of lack, every fear, every false belief, these are clouds. When they dissolve, the light shines effortlessly because it was never gone. To live as light is to live transparently, not perfect, but clear. It means letting the truth of who you are shine through every thought, every gesture, every silence. You become less about performance and more about presence. Your energy speaks louder than your words. People feel peace around you, not because you give it to them, but because they remember their own when near you. Light does not judge. It does not divide. It illuminates. It touches shadow and says, "You too belong to me." That is the nature of living as light, to see everything as part of the whole. When you embody light, love stops being something you give conditionally. It becomes the atmosphere you exist in. Even in conflict, you remain luminous. Even in pain, you remember clarity. The world no longer needs to be perfect for you to be at peace, because peace is now your baseline vibration. Light is intelligent. It does not chase darkness. It simply shines, and darkness transforms. When you live this way, you stop trying to fix others. You stop trying to convince or control. You understand that your presence, calm, grounded, radiant, is the most powerful transmission of all. Your existence becomes an invitation. Without words, you remind others you can shine too. Living as light is not about constant positivity. It is about constant truth. Sometimes truth is gentle. Sometimes it burns. But even fire is part of light cleansing, clarifying, revealing. When anger arises, you no longer shame it. You illuminate it until it softens into understanding. When grief visits, you no longer resist. You let it wash through you until it glows as wisdom. Light is movement. It dances through you when you laugh, when you create, when you forgive. It pulses in every heartbeat, every breath. You cannot contain it. You can only allow it. To live as light, you must first trust your radiance. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are precisely calibrated. For this moment in history, a vessel chosen to anchor clarity, where confusion has ruled for too long. Every act of kindness, every conscious breath, every moment you choose love over fear. These are beams of light piercing the collective shadow. Your life becomes luminous, not because it is easy, but because you bring awareness to it. You see lessons where others see obstacles. You find beauty in imperfection. You walk through darkness with eyes open, carrying your own torch. This is what makes light powerful. It is unbothered by shadow. It does not need to escape it to prove its brilliance. So do not hide from the world in pursuit of purity. Bring your light into the world, into the noise, the mess, the ordinary moments. That is where it is needed most. Light also teaches humility, for as bright as you may shine, you are still a single ray in the infinite sun. Every being is a reflection of the same source, some hidden behind thicker clouds, some already blazing. When you recognize this, comparison fades. You no longer ask, "Am I enough?" because enoughness was never the measure. You simply are. To sustain your light, nurture silence. Light is born in stillness. Meditate rest. Breathe deeply. Walk in nature. Let the nervous system slow until you can feel the subtle pulse of radiance in your chest. That pulse is life itself. When you align with it, synchronicities multiply. When you ignore it, fatigue returns. Your energy, your creativity, your intuition all flow from the same source of light. So guard it gently, not with fear, but with reverence. Treat your body as a lamp that carries this flame. Feed it with nourishment, movement, and rest. Treat your mind as the lens through which light shines. Keep it clear with mindfulness and gratitude. Treat your heart as the sacred chamber where divine light meets human experience. Keep it open, even when it aches. Because living as light is not an escape from humanity, it is the fulfillment of it. To be human is to be the meeting point of heaven and earth energy, and form eternal and temporary. You are not meant to hide your glow. You are meant to embody it fully, wildly, unapologetically. And when you do, you will notice something miraculous. The world around you begins to reflect it. People soften. Opportunities unfold. Even chaos seems to organize itself in your presence, not because you demanded it, but because your light silently reminds the field how to remember harmony. Shine then, not to be seen, but to see. Not to prove, but to reveal. Not to dominate, but to awaken. You are the continuation of the sun, the living spark of the infinite flame, a fragment of eternity walking through time. And when you remember that, every step, every glance, every breath becomes light itself. Conclusion. The awakening is complete. There is a silence that follows true understanding, not emptiness but fullness so complete that no words can fit inside it. You are now standing in that silence. The seeking has ended. What remains is remembrance. You began this journey looking outward for meaning, for mastery, for energy. But step by step, chapter by chapter, the mirror turned inward. You realized that what you were chasing was never somewhere else. It was the pulse behind your own heartbeat, the intelligence breathing you, the field watching through your eyes. Everything that came before, the lessons on vibration, belief, emotion, alignment, trust, were not instructions for becoming someone new. They were instruments of remembering. They untangled the noise so that the music underneath could finally be heard. That music is your true self, infinite, radiant, aware. You are not energy in a body. You are awareness animating energy through form. You are not a visitor in this universe. You are the universe expressing itself as a human moment. To know this is freedom. To live this is mastery. When you act, now act from stillness. When you speak, let the words rise from clarity. When you love without agenda. When you create as the source remembering itself through beauty. There will still be storms. There will still be endings. But something inside you will remain untouched, the steady center that no chaos can disturb. That center is not something you must hold. It holds you. You no longer need to force manifestations or control outcomes. Energy obeys resonance, not effort. When you vibrate peace, life arranges itself around that peace. When you rest in gratitude, the field opens effortlessly. What used to feel like work becomes flow. What used to feel like waiting becomes preparation. The awakened life is not lived in temples or mountaintops. It is lived in kitchens, in conversations, in laughter, in the smallest decisions made with awareness. Enlightenment is not an escape from the ordinary. It is the revelation that the ordinary was sacred all along. You have walked the path from energy to embodiment, from knowing to being, from seeking to remembering, from light to stillness, and from stillness to love. Now, let it live through you. Let every word you speak carry coherence. Let every action ripple harmony into the field. Let every moment be a reminder that the divine does not live beyond you, it lives as you. You are not here to ascend out of the world. You are here to illuminate it. Your peace is your power. Your awareness is your service. Your presence is your prayer. And as you walk forward quieter, lighter, clearer, you will notice something miraculous. Life has not changed. You have. And because of that, everything glows differently. So take a deep breath. Feel the pulse of the infinite within your ribs. That is the same rhythm that moves galaxies. That is the proof that you are home. You were never lost. You were only remembering what you already are. Energy, consciousness, love, light. The awakening is complete. The journey continues.